Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another lazy show where we teach you AutoCAD in a way that is more productive so you can stop wasting your time. As always, we show up here each Sunday at 10 a.m., and that is Pennsylvania in the United States time. So let's jump to the chat and start reading some of your comments. As always, there are some folks already on the chat. That's great. Lewis is on the chat. Hey, Lewis, thank you for being here with us today. We're gonna have an awesome presentation today. We're gonna help some folks live here all together, right? As a team, as a community. So today's show, I expect that it's gonna be great. Our friend Duke is also on the chat. Says, "Good morning, all." Hey, Duke, my friend. Happy to have you here as always. As each Sunday, you are consistent showing up, and I'm very happy for that. What's up, Irving? Says Duke. Nothing much, Duke. I'm here again as each Sunday. You know, very excited to share a little bit of my knowledge also here to you so we can all make our life easier, right? That's the goal of this channel, to simplify your life working in AutoCAD. Lewis says, "Hi, Duke." Um, nice. So you guys are now interacting to each other. That's great. That's even better because that means now there is a small community right there, right? You're just not coming here maybe for me, but maybe you guys now can talk to each other. That's awesome. Lewis says, "Hi, Master Irving." Hey, Lewis. I don't know if I'm a master, but at least, I try to do my best to explain things here and kind of simplify things, right? So if you are maybe working the long way in AutoCAD, you are doing something wrong, my friend. You should come and join us because AutoCAD should be fun, right? Whenever I'm working on some drawings, some architectural drawings, um, I'm having fun there. I'm not stressed out. I'm not worried. So that's how you supposed to feel also. Douglas says, "Did you build that dollhouse behind you?" Yes, Duke. I used my architectural skills to build that dollhouse right there. What do you think, guys? Duke says, "Hey, Lewis, how are you today?" That's nice that you guys are talking to each other. Lewis says, "Good, good, thanks. Good morning." All, says our friend Martin. Hey, Martin, happy to have you here, my friend. You are also consistent with the live streams. That's great. That you, Martin, Douglas, Rachel, there are many folks that are consistently showing up here, and that's awesome because I know you guys have plenty of experience, right, in AutoCAD. Duke, how many years of experience you have using AutoCAD? So many years, I believe, right? Martin, good morning, says Duke. Martin says, "Good morning, Douglas." All right, guys, so I think we're gonna start getting ready today. Today we have Douglas is answering to my questions. Says 42, I think. So here we go. Our friend Duke has 42 years of experience. Oh my God. So he can help us a lot here, right? That's why I do these live streams, because it's not just me talking and presenting, but you guys can help each other and we all can learn from each other, right? That's what I love these live streams. Martin says 400. You mean, Douglas? Oh, Martin. No. All right, guys. So let me start getting ready over here. I don't see our friend Rachel right there. Probably it's late. Yeah, I don't see. Let's see. All right, we're gonna start getting ready over here on my second screen. I have three screens right here now, and let me start getting ready. Okay. Uh, Douglas is just taking it. Yeah. Douglas says she might be cooking. You mean Rachel? Yeah. I mean, I don't know, but Rachel is always here. So Rachel says cooking again. Hey Rachel. Hi. Hi there. Happy to have you here today. Live stream is gonna be awesome. We're gonna help a couple of folks with the lazy questions. If you guys don't know, what's the lazy question, right? There are new folks that don't know what I'm talking about. Martin says, "Hi, Rachel." That's nice that all of you kind of know to each other already and communicate. I call it. Hi, Rachel. Oh, you did call Rachel? You have her phone number? That's awesome. Not even I have her phone number, Duke. But that's awesome. That's great, Duke. Thank you for calling Rachel. I Venison by this time drove over Bambi this morning. Good morning, all. Hey Rachel, you making me hungry here. Come on. um, Two glasses. At the end of the year, Rachel is going to prepare a dinner for us all. Yeah, that would be awesome, Duke. And how are we gonna be able to eat it? I think she's in England, and I'm in the US. You, Duke, I think you are in the US also, right? Martin is in England, so the only person that will able to eat it is Martin. Oh, shoot. Okay, guys. So let's see. Let's see over here. I mean, uh, getting ready on my second screen. Let's see. Douglas says virtually. Yeah, I mean, at least maybe we can see it, right? We can see Martin eating it. I'm looking forward to that, says Martin. Rachel says, "Oh, Douglas, you can draw it." Yeah, that's a good idea. You guys are great. You are very smart. You have so many um, good ideas, and yeah, I love this community. You guys are great. Martin says, "I enjoy all and compliment the chef for you all." Uh, how far are you guys from each other, Rachel and Martin? Maybe you can let us know that. That would be awesome. Because both of you are in England, but sometimes you might be very far away. All right, guys. Like I was explaining today, we're gonna have lazy question show, and we're gonna answer two questions. We're gonna help two folks today, all right? So the first folk we're gonna help today, and before I do that, I want to explain lazy what's the lazy question, right? For folks that don't know what I'm talking about, right? So let me see if I can share my screen right here. And yes, you are all seeing my screen. Let's see. Now we have comment on the chat. Is our friend Rachel says, "Wait, ooh, Scotland. I'm in Scotland. How many times, Irving? Scotland. Uh, Martin says about 30, 50, 350 miles, I think. Yes, Scotland, another country. Oh, well, okay, okay. Yeah, that was my mistake then, Martin. So you're in Scotland and Rachel is in England. Oh, yeah, okay. All right, Martin. All right, Rachel. Okay, guys. So with 9 people connected here, that's awesome that we have 9 folks live to do this presentation, to learn from each other live. Um, All right, so today we're gonna have the lazy question show. What's the lazy question show? You might ask if you are new, right? Well, it's this live stream that I do where I pick a question from our email, right? From our email list, and we answer it live. We so far we have so many videos about the lazy question show already. We have all of these videos that you can of course rewatch later. But today we're gonna have or we're gonna help two folks with their questions from our email list, right? So let's do that. Let's do that today. And we're gonna start. If there are no more questions, let's see if we have comments in the chat. Rachel says, squeezes the bridge of her nose. Martin says, other way around, Rachel in Scotland. I'm outside London. Oh, at least you are very close, I believe, right? All right, folks. So let's go over here and let me get ready. Okay. Give me 1 second over here so I can get ready. All right. So are you guys ready to do this? Okay. All right. So let's see over here. Our first lazy question comes from our friend Jeff. And Jeff says, hey, I thought you could help me. I tried using your automatic number blocks idea to build my own block. The type of block I used was a callout bubble from AutoCAD. I tried to modify it so the top number would auto number when I inserted multiple times. It is now working, and I thought you might be able to shed some light on my problem. My thought is that I have a drawing that is just for elevation reference, and all I will have it is my floor plan and the callout blocks showing. Enclosed is my elevation reference plan, elevation sheet, and a block of the callout bubble. Any input would be greatly appreciated. And that was our friend Jeff. Um, so let's see how we can help our first friend right here. Today we have two questions, two lazy questions. So let's jump and see those files that we just got from our friend Jeff. All right. So let's go over here and here we go. Here are the files, guys. Let's inspect it together. And we are gonna open first this PDF right here. So let me open that up, see what our friend Jeff is referring to, so we can get a better idea of what's going on. So we have a floor plan as he was mentioning, and it looks like he is trying to automate this block right here for the interior elevations. As you can see, this is sequential number 27, 28, 29, and so on. So, and this is the floor plan. Very nice and clean and organized floor plan, Jeff. Congrats on that. So let's now jump to the file that he sent, right? So we can get a better idea. So I'm gonna open his file, the auto number callout bubble right over here. And let's see what we get. So we have two blocks, says lazy callout block, lazy callout block made from the polyline. So I get confused right here. Are these two blocks different or are the same? So what I'm gonna do first is to inspect them. I'm gonna go to my properties, see the names for these blocks. So it says lazy callout bubble. Let's see, let's expand this right here. And all right, so let's select this other block and lazy callout bubble. So both blocks are the same, right? So I believe we're gonna just use any of those. But the first thing that I'm gonna try is go back and explain um, what our friend Jeff is referring to when he said that he tried the auto numbering idea from our, I don't know if he said from our videos, but what he's referring to is to this video right here that we did, I believe, a year ago under our lazy macros. Our lazy macros is basically a way where we quickly create custom AutoCAD commands, right? We put together a series of commands to run it or use it from one single click, and that will of course save us a lot of time, right? So in the specific video that Jeff is referring to is this over here, simplifying your AutoCAD work with auto numbering blocks. So that's the idea that Jeff mentioned. And in order to speed up things here, right, because it's not about doing or redoing the whole video again, you can watch that video later at your own pace. But what I'm gonna do is from that video, we created a code, a macro code, and I'm gonna go to my Patreon post because we post all of our macro codes there, and I'm gonna simply find it, right? So this is our Patreon page. For people who don't know, it's a way to share all of my all of the work that I do, my files, my macro codes, my blogs, and so I'm gonna go here and simply type numbering to find that video. Here it is. And over here, I have the macro code that we created. So again, to speed up things, I'm gonna simply go ahead and copy this code, right? So we don't have to recreate this tool or this command. So I'm gonna copy that out and I'm gonna go right over here. And what I'm gonna do is simply open my command macros palette, right? So I'm gonna say command macros, right? That's the brand new command macros that AutoCAD introduced, I believe, in AutoCAD 2023, right? And it's very useful. Again, we've been creating so many macro commands, and somehow AutoCAD realized that this is important, and the AutoCAD gave us our own palette now to create our macros, which is great. Before, we used to create these macros using our tool palette. As you are seeing, we have many commands that we created here on the channel, but I like to use the brand new macros command. So I have so many suggestions here from AutoCAD. I just renamed it to test because I like to create my own macros command that are specific to my work, to my needs, right? And that's what you should do. What you should do too. Anyway, so what I'm gonna do here is go and rename any of these commands, right? So I'm gonna right click on it and say command macro editor. Once I do that, I can of course type a new name. Maybe here's up to you, but I'm gonna call this lazy block numbering for the name of my command. And the important thing is here, of course, you can add a description and the macro part, right? That's where I'm gonna go ahead and erase all of this and paste with the control V. So the code that I just copied from our Patreon post. All right. Now, since Jeff didn't give me the code or the macro string that he was using, that doesn't work as he's saying, right? So I'm gonna have to kind of quickly recreate it, right? And the way I'm gonna do it is, let's see over here. I'm gonna jump to your questions in a moment, so just put it on the chat. I'm gonna read it in a moment. So the way I'm gonna recreate it is go back to our Patreon post because there are some nice instructions here, right? So it says replace block name here with your specific block name, and that's what we're gonna do. All right, so that's very simple to do. Block name is right here, and what was the name of Jeff's blog? Lazy callout bubble, I believe. So that's what we're gonna do. Lazy callout bubble. Here we go. That's all we need to do here in this code, and it's done. So I'm gonna click OK, all right, to test things out. Now, of course, according to Jeff, this wasn't working. So that's why we are here, right? To help him up, and probably this video is also gonna help other folks. That's why I picked this question, not only to help Jeff, but I'm sure because other folks have asked me already that they were having problems setting up the auto numbering for their specific blocks. So that's why I'm doing this live with you. So let's test it anyway. We know maybe it's not gonna work. So let's do it. Let's try it. So I'm gonna click on it and I'm gonna click like so. And as you can see, the auto numbering option is now working. All of those are number one, and we even have a yellow exclamation symbol. That means something not right is happening, right? So we can do is press F2 on our keyboard just to inspect things, right? That's one of the first things that I do when troubleshooting all of these macro code strings. So, and I can see here something interesting. So I can see that it says command 18, unknown command. So it looks like, and then we got 19. So from 18 to 19, it looks like AutoCAD is trying to auto number this, but somehow it's getting confused, right? It's getting confused and it's not inputting the number maybe at the correct time. Who knows? So that's what we're here to try to figure that out. So let's cancel that with escape on our keyboard. And now let me stop right here in the middle of our presentation to go to the chat and maybe read if you have questions so far, so we can keep going here, right? This is very interesting topic, right? Because again, this is a problem that many folks are having. That's why we're doing this today. And let's jump to the chat before we proceed. Let's see. Our friend Rachel says, only in architectural layers with no nonsensical layer naming conventions. Layer 203. Is that another file to open to check what layer 203 denotates? Let's see. Are you referring? Oh, okay. You mean 208, Rachel? The layer name? Where are you getting the 203 layer? I don't see it. Yeah, I think you meant 208. Anyway, yeah, I don't know that. I mean, you know that. Let's see. Rachel says 208. Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. Maybe Jeff. I don't think Jeff is here today, but he was very active also here on the live streams. Maybe he's not here today. Um, that would be awesome for Jeff to answer, but I'm sure he have a reason. And I don't I don't know if he's in the architectural field. Rachel, probably not. I think he's in the um, equipment field. I think he, yeah, somehow related to equipments. Um, yeah, so let's see if we can figure that out. That's a good question, though. So yeah, of course you have a floor plan, right? But I don't believe he developed this floor plan. I think he's in charge of, from what he shared with me, with us, right, on the past live streams. I think he developed the equipments. I think that's why he is adding these annotations for the interior elevation of these equipments. I believe these are shelves. Uh, but that's a personal thing. Everyone have their own layer conventions. I'm sure 208 means something. Maybe he have a schedule of different numbers for each layer. Who knows? Lewis says, Rachel, I have oops. Rachel, I had the same question since I started working with them cut files. Oh no, Duke, help me here. I know you are in the architecture field also, so so Lewis, what's your field then? What's your field? You're not into architecture. Rachel, you are a civil designer, I believe. What about you, Lewis? That would be awesome to know. What do you do with AutoCAD, right? I'm in the architecture field. Duke is also in the architectural field. Martin, you are on the CNC field, right? Um, all right. Let's see. Rachel, make sense, Douglas. Help me out here, my friend Duke. Douglas, here we go, our friend Duke. Let's see what Douglas says. I use AIA layer convention typically and depending on the job size. Here we go. It's a good answer, my friend Duke. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, there's not specific, right? Sometimes you might have a small remodel project that you might not need all of the layers from AIA for a out of the ground or new construction project, right? What are you gonna do with all of these layers on a small remodel project? So that's why I believe, you might have two sets of layers, maybe for new construction and from remodel that you can utilize. But that's a good question to debate and to do an entire live stream about it. But so far, that's my thinking. Um, let's see what other folks have to say. Marco is in the chat. Marco, I don't know if you are new to the live streams. I think I saw you before, but happy to have you here. Marco says, "Hello, guys. I have question regarding AutoCAD Lisp files. Can someone address me how can I change my attribute values, which are in block for 9 different layouts, either through my block is the same?" Mm, I'm having a little trouble understanding your question, Marco. So you're trying to use Lisp to change the attributes values of our block for different layouts. Either through my block is the same. So why are you trying to use Lisp? Um you could just select all of your attribute blocks like here, right? And go to your property palette and let's see, and change the values maybe from 1 to 5, right, Marco? And here we go. You could have all of your attribute blocks going to the same value. Like, why would you need a Lisp, right? The same way for the other bottom attribute, you could go to the properties and maybe change to 201, right? And all of them will update. Maybe you don't need a Lisp, my friend. So So let's undo this, of course. And let's see. Douglas says, if it's a small remodel, I make it up as I go. Here we go. Kind of Duke is supporting my idea, right? I guess it makes sense. You don't want to overload your drawing with a full list of layers that were for a new construction project where you actually need them, right? Instead of just a remodel where you have existing and proposed stuff, right? Here we go, Duke. That's why I like to have you here, Duke. I like I like when you're here because you can we can help each other. uh, let's see. Two classes. If I'm the only one using the DWG file, yeah, sure, okay. So you work for yourself, right, Duke? You don't work like for a firm like I do. That's good. Marco said it is the title block in bottom right corner of every layout. Marco, what I believe you are trying to do is mm, so you're trying to change the layout name, right? Which is right here, this layout name. Why don't you just you're trying to maybe match this to the title block um to the title block name at the bottom. So why don't you try a lisp in I'm sorry, a field instead. We did a video a long time ago about that. Let's see if I can find it. Let's see. Let's do that really quick because we are live. But I think you're trying to match the layout name. Let's see if I can really layout. Yeah, I think this is the video that you need. Automate AutoCAD inserting field to match layout tab name. So yeah, so that would be the title block bottom right corner. Maybe that will help you, my friend. Let's see what else we have. If not, Marco, if that's not what you're asking for, um, what I'll suggest is sending me your question, right, to my email, right, and maybe we can do an entire live stream like today's, right, answering your question on the Lazy Question Show, right? You can do that, Marco. And for people who want to do that, just simply join our email list or newsletter, and that way you can send me your question and participate. That's one of the main features of our email list, right? The Lazy Question Show. And of course, it's gonna be in the video description or live stream description. Our friend Duke says, Rachel, I'm 72 years old. Nothing I say makes sense anymore. No, Duke, don't say that. Marco says they need to have different values. Yep, I think I answered your question, Marco. Just send me an email. And Rachel says, Douglas, Michael, I hear you. Rachel, do you xref the title block as if you did? Simply change the original DWG file. Everything is updated automatically. Yeah, that's a good question. Marco, are you using xref for your title block or you are inserting your title blocks as a regular block? That's a great question, Rachel. Uh, Rachel says, if the title block is a block, can't you change the block itself? Another good question. Marco says, thank you very much. No problem, Marco. Two classes, yes, independent. I was a general contractor for 40 years. Always did my own drawing. Now that I'm semi-retired, I do drawing for another architects and engineers. Awesome, dude. Awesome, my friend. That you are uh, working, even though that you are semi-retired. All right, guys. Let's finish helping our friend because we have a second question that we want to tackle here on the Lazy Question Show. So let's go and help our friend. All right. Okay. So what we can do here is let's try something, right? Let's try something here. Why this block is not working, right? We are using the correct macro code right here because we just copy the code and simply change the name of the block. So the block is being inserted, but it's not being inserted in the way that we want, which is auto numbering or sequentially number these blocks. And we already inspect the command line, and it looks like the code is trying to change the number. You can see 21 to 22, but there are something that is confusing AutoCAD, something that is confusing AutoCAD. And here, what I can think of is when I created this block, right? When I created the auto numbering block, I was only using one attribute in my block. I remember the column column bubble, right? For an architectural plan, we have column bubbles 1, 2, 3, 4 to number the column grids of each column and so on. But here I see that our friend Jeff is using two attributes. You can see attribute 1, I can change it to maybe 5. Attribute 2, I can change it to 2 or whatever. Okay. So that's why I guess the confusion is coming to this block. How would AutoCAD know which um, attribute it needs to auto number, right? Would you know if you have two? No, right? So then, if that's the case, what I'm gonna do is, guys, right here, I'm gonna try something. I'm gonna open this block. Um, I'm gonna go to the block editor, right, and check some of the properties of these attributes. So the way I'm gonna check them is selecting them and going to my properties right here. Over here, if I scrolled all the way down, I can see under the I believe this is miscellaneous properties, that there are certain, how would I call this, certain parameters or certain list of options for the attributes. Uh, so there is upside down, backward, invisible, constant, and so on. And now we can see that, of course, the properties that or the options that says no, that's okay. I will try to focus only on the options that say yes, right? And there are only two options. The preset says yes, and the lock position say yes. Now, if I go and inspect the other attribute, right? So I'm gonna go here and select the other attribute. I can see also that the same parameters or options are being selected. Everything says no, the preset says yes, and the lock position yes. Now, from my experience, and because we have been creating many different blogs, we have the Lazy Blog playlist also, or show, where we create many dynamic blogs live. And we did a video about attributes best practices, right? And that video has hundreds of views also, so, or thousands of views, sorry. um is the lock position preset or option. That's We need that because otherwise we will able to move our block, right? So if I go to the test block option, and select the block. If I have the lock position to no, I'm gonna be able, or the person who's gonna use this block is gonna be able to select this attribute and move it outside of this block, and we don't want that. So then that preset is fine. We want that. But what about the other one? The other one that says yes. The uh, what was it called? The preset option right here that is the only one that says yes. Also, again, we discarded the lock position because we need that to be yes. But what about the preset? So for that, to clarify whether we need that or not, I'm gonna go and get some help here under the Autodesk website right here, right? So we have the attribute definition dialog box. And again, all of these different modes. We did an entire video about this, but here is not about explaining again everything about attributes, but trying to figure it out why our automatic block numbering is not working for our friend Jeff and probably for other folks right there, right? That's why we are here. So if we scroll down and the mode, that's how AutoCAD calls them, mode. The attribute mode that we need to read about is the preset. It's right here. So what preset says is that it sets the attribute to its default value without displaying a prompt when you insert the block. Here we go. That's what we need, guys, because we have two attributes and we need to somehow enable or disable asking for a prompt, right? Or displaying a prompt for one of the attributes. So that way AutoCAD knows that which is the right attribute that we want to auto number, right? So let's keep reading here because this is very important. So the preset option applies only when prompts for attribute values are set to be displayed at the command prompt, and they gave us ATT dia is set to 0. So again, this second part is also very important because they are saying that we need to somehow set the ATT dia. This is a system variable that works or customize the way attributes behave, right? And take a look at this value over here because if we inspect our code, I believe we already have that out. So let me go and go to the command macros and go to command macro editor. And we're gonna see here that we are using the ATTDIA to 0, so we are covered in that situation already. We don't have to add or modify anything here. All right, so we're good in that second sentence part, but not on the first one. On the first one, we need again to change the preset option for one of our attributes, right? So what we're gonna do here is, and the way we're gonna change it, I'm gonna select the top attribute, in this case number 1, because this is the one that Jeff wants to auto number based on the PDF plan that he sent. So what I'm gonna do is go to my properties and change the preset to no, only for this specific attribute. And this will tell AutoCAD that, hey, this is the attribute that I want to auto number. So let's test things out and hopefully this is gonna help the issue, right? So I'm gonna close the block editor right here and say save the changes. And now let's test our block and see whether we have another error or not. Let's cross fingers because again we're doing this live and you don't know what's going to happen. So lazy block numbering, I'm gonna click here once, twice, and here we go, guys. So now AutoCAD knows which attribute needs to auto number, which is great. Now, still we have an issue because it's not auto numbering from a starting number that Jeff might want, but that's very easy to fix if we go back to the post, right? Oops, where is the post? Maybe right here. Here we go. If we go right here and we read the instructions, it says that you can use the user1 system variable to start or set a starting number. And that's what we're gonna do. So we're gonna use the user1. And of course, we want to start from 1, right? Because that's the idea. So once we set that up and try Jeff blog, we can see that this is working beautifully, guys. And hopefully this is gonna help Jeff, but also other folks out there. Again, to summarize, if you're using multiple attributes, you need to let you need to let AutoCAD know which is the attribute that you need to auto number. All right, so let me stop and jump to the chat before we jump to the next lazy question. What do you think about this question from Jeff? Do you think it's gonna help other folks or not? Let me know on the chat. Where is the chat? Right here. All right. Let's see what you guys think. Lewis says the attribute has a tag that you can call to access a specific attribute. Those the attribute has a tag that you can. I'm having a little trouble understanding your question, my friend Lewis. Those the attribute has a tag that you can call to access a specific attribute. Are you referring to our macro code or to the last part, the usury one? The usury one, maybe you can specify which are you referring to, my friend Lewis. So let's see if you guys have questions or thoughts before we about this first lazy question, because we have a second one that is gonna be also very awesome to kind of figure it out, right? These are different problems again that folks have, and they might need some help. They might not have the possibility to maybe afford a consultation, right, with me or with any other AutoCAD consultant. And that's why we created this show, The Lazy Question, where we can help you, right, solve your AutoCAD problems and at the same time help other folks. Lewis says, I thought maybe if the attribute has a tag, you can call it from the macro to automate the numbering. And that's what we did, my friend Lewis. The way to let AutoCAD know which is the attribute that we need to auto number is by changing the preset of one of the attributes, right? So that way AutoCAD asks for that specific value, and then our macro code will do its thing to auto number or sequentially number those blocks. Let's see. Lewis. Hopefully I answer your question, my friend Lewis. All right. So if there are no questions, let's move to the second one, to the second lazy question. So let's close this. Hopefully, we were able to help you, my friend Jeff. So I'm gonna say no right here. And let's go to the next lazy question. And this one comes from our friend Jay. Jay says, when I change block color, of all object color are changed. Wait. when I, Jay says, when I change block color, all object color are changed, but leader color is not changed. And I also have the leader color set by block in block, but color are not changing. So that was our friend Jay, and let's see how we can help him, right? And probably help other folks as well. So let's inspect his files that he emailed me. Again, if you want to um, send your lazy questions, simply um, join our email list or newsletter from the video description, and you'll be able to ask your question and maybe be featured on this lazy question show. So let me go and open his files, and it's this one right here, leader color problem in block J. So I'm gonna open his file really quick and let's inspect it together. All right. So we have problem one and problem one also right here. So it looks like we have two problems in one question. So he says this leader is not changing red color. Okay, so let me inspect this. So this looks like a block. Yes, a block reference. So let's since this is a block, that might be the reason why it's not changing. So what I'm gonna do is open this block, right? Going to the block editor, and let's inspect this. So this is a regular text, m text with a leader right here. Leader. All right. So okay. So let's undo. Let's just do Control Z and let's see what's the color, right? I think he changed. Let me do a guess here, right? I think he's trying to change to color red. Here we go. It says color red. All right. So and of course this is on layer 0. Properties red. Okay, it looks like some of the properties, the color properties, are being overridden here and there. They're on different layer 0, color overridden to red, right? So I think that's where the problem is coming. So let's see how we can solve this, right? Again, we're doing this live. So let's see. So what I'm gonna do is, of course, I'm not gonna explode the block because that would be the easiest approach here, right? To explode this block, but maybe he doesn't want to do that. So what I'm going to try to solve it is going back to the block editor again. And what I can do here is, let's select some of these properties of these lines. So it says by block. Okay, a color by block. So let's select this leader. Okay, color by block. Now, okay. So the leader is set by block, guys, but it's set to color layer 0. So the first attempt that I'm gonna do here is change the layer to 0, all right? Because when you have objects inside block, you want them to be on layer 0, right? But I don't know if this will also apply for leaders, right? Leaders are a special thing in AutoCAD, special object or feature. So let's see if that will solve the problem. If not, we'll try something else. Again, let's change it, the leader to properties, the layer to 0, and let's see how. Let's see if this helps. Save the changes. Yes. Nope. This doesn't solve the problem. Again, let's see. Properties. It says 0. Let's see. Here we go. That's. I think we discovered the problem, guys. So the problem is this color being overridden right here. As you can see, this is on layer 0, but the color is being overridden. So if we change this, right, and fix it and say by layer, you can see immediately that all of my layers, leader also, the color also changed. So then the right way to do this, right, is, so let's see if we can select this block, if it has a name. It says block 01. Okay, so the right way to do this is creating a layer, right? I'm gonna go on my layer palette and create a brand new layer. I don't know the name of this block, right? But I'm just gonna call it block 1 because again, this is all up to our friend. Let's say if this would be kitchen equipment, I will create a kitchen equipment layer. But since I don't know, all I know is block 1. That's what I'm gonna do, and simply change the color to red. Right? That's what I will do, and click OK. And then I will, of course, set that layer to my block, and we can see that again our leaders are not changing color. So let's try something else then. But before that, let's go and jump to the chat because we have a comment. Our friend Duke says, what's the properties of the other leaders that are changing? None of the leaders are changing, my friend Duke. If that's your question, you can see. And now we set this up in a correct layer, right? Block 1, color red. Some of the properties are by layer. The layer again is block 1. Um, uh, Duke, thanks for trying to help here. Again, we're doing this live. Um, so let's see. Let's try something else, right? So let's go back to the block editor and let's inspect again some of these properties. This line is by block on a layer building 1. What about this one? Dim. Oops, yeah, that's the problem again. Hatch. Like everything it's on a different layer. So layer 0 by block. So let's change this to by layer. All right. So let's do a test. Let's change this leader to by layer. By layer 0. That's fine. So let's close and save the changes. And here we go, my friend. That was the problem again. I was getting confused as some of these properties have different layers, the hatch, the dim, the leader itself. So I I could easily fix this by exploring this block and just put everything on one layer and put everything. But again, maybe that's not what our friend Jay wanted, right? He wanted to keep the same layer properties, the dim layer, the hatch layer, and so on. So that's what I was trying to find a way around to keep those layer properties, but fix the issue. And here we go. So that's how we fix it. Let's try to fix the other layers now. Go back to the block editor. And simply what we did was, change the, I'm going to right click and say select similar. Of course, these layers are on different layers. So I'm going to select another one and say select similar to select all of these leaders. And the way we fixed it again was changing it to by layer, and the layer would be layer 0, right? So that way, when we close and save the changes, the leaders will get the properties from that specific layer, right? That's what we want, guys. So here we go. First problem solved, Jay, and hopefully this is gonna help other folks also. And you have another problem over here. But let's just stop right here and see if there are some questions about this problem that was giving us trouble, but we could figure it out. Two classes could have sworn that others were red. No, all of them were not working, my friend. But again, to summarize this problem, the problem was that the block itself was on layer 0, the properties were changed, the color was overwritten. So all I did is I did two steps to fix this problem. First, I created a new layer with color red. Of course, I placed that block on that specific layer. And second, I changed the leader property color to layer 0 and by layer, right? That's what I did inside the block. And of course, this was now working as expected. Right, so let's wrap this up with this final problem from our friend Jay. He says, match property is not proper working, like text color is not changing with other multi-letter copy from another file. All right. uh, so we have another problem right here, guys. So it's saying that if we match properties, right, with MA shortcut, let's match properties from here, this multi-letter, to this other one. We can see that again the text is not matching, right? It's not doing anything. So what we can do here is let's try a couple of things, right? Let's try a couple of things. Let me see over here. So the first thing that I'm gonna do is how can I start here? So what I can do here is go to first the properties, right? Let's select the properties of this multi-letter, the one that is working. Oops, let me hide this comment. So let's first inspect this multi-letter. So it's color green and layer 0. Again, some of these properties are overridden, like the color, right? Now, I don't think this would be the same issue as the first one, because the first one was a single letter, right? That was separated from the text. But here, this is a special case. This is a multi-letter, which means the text is connected to the letter. And that's a different item in itself. And of course, have different ways to tackle the problem, right? So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to my properties and see the leader color. It says by block. The text content. Let's see if we can find a color for the text. Right? We have a leader color right here, but we are looking for the text because the text is the one that is not changing color. So text style, direction, rotation, background. Nope. So first attempt we failed. There's no color that it's overridden here. The second try that I'm going to do is get inside my multi-letter right? And see the color, right? So here it's color yellow. It's been overridden. What about this other one, the one that is good? The multi-leader that is working fine. It's green. So of course I could cheat this a little bit. I could, right? I could go ahead and just override this to green, right? And say done. Right? That would be the easiest approach and the simplest. But of course, we want to figure this out. We want to understand how multi-leaders work or behave. So this, I'm gonna do Control Z to undo that, because again, that's not the right way to just overwrite properties here and there and do a mess, right? When we send this drawing to other folks, oh my god, they're gonna suffer by changing some of these properties. So then what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna try to check the style of this multi-leader. The style is let's see, standard. That's the name of the multi-leader style, standard. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna right click on one of these multi-leaders, on the good one, and I'm gonna say add selected, just to insert the same multi-leader. So I'm gonna go here and go like here and say maybe test. And we can see something interesting here. The new multi-leaders are coming on the correct color for the text, of course. But again, if we match properties to this other multi-leader, it's not changing the color. So that make me think that somebody overwrote some of these properties for this multi-leader. And the easiest way to fix those overridden properties is by going inside my multi-leader, selecting everything with Control A, and go over here and on these options right here and say remove all formatting. So once I do that, you can see that now my multi-leader text changed to its desired condition. Now the beauty of fixing this in the correct way is that when I now maybe change this to a different color like red, and I match properties, this will also update as you're seeing it right here. So that's why we wanted to fix this multi-leader again in the right way. We just didn't want to override the color and do a quick fix and maybe give more trouble to other folks, right? So here we go, Jay. Hopefully we were able to help you here live with your color problems for leaders and for multi-leaders, and also help other folks, right? So let me now jump to the chat to read some of your questions that you might have regarding this problem, or your last thoughts before we wrap up today's presentation. That was a long one, but it was fun because I like when I have the chance to look at different drawings, right? I look at work from other folks. What are they doing? What problems are they having? That's what this lazy question show is, the one that I enjoy the most. um, so let's see. We have questions before we wrap this up. Hopefully, again, you found value out of today's two lazy questions that we have. Let's see. Okay. Let's see over here. All right. So if there are no questions, I'm gonna stop right here and start thinking on our next week's video. I have an idea already, but let's see if I decided to finally do that. Uh, Duke says you have. Oh, okay. So I think that was question. All right. So guys, I'm gonna stop right here again, and I'm gonna see you. Let's see. Mm, all right. All right, guys. So I'm gonna see you next week at 10 a.m. Right, next Sunday. So hopefully you have a wonderful rest of your day, guys. And